Everyone loves to say, this character has bad reversals, but nobody explains how to abuse characters with bad reversals. In this video, I will show you which characters have objectively bad reversals, why they're bad, and how every character can abuse them. First, let's discuss an option select that I call the meaty light OS. Even if you're aware of this option select, stick around because I guarantee you'll learn something new. When you use certain light normal attacks at certain plus frames on your opponent's wake up, you can option select to both continue pressuring the opponent when they do not perform a reversal and block in time should they choose to perform certain reversals. A normal can block in time against a reversal at this frame advantage on wake up if this condition is true. Luckily for you, I did all the math for every character for you. Here is a chart of every character's best normal or normals to perform the meaty light OS at this frame advantage on a defender's wake up to beat reversals with a startup of this or greater. I will define this number as the MBP for must be plus, and this number as the threshold because it is the threshold of the fastest super that these moves can successfully use the option select against. If your character is listed multiple times, that means they have multiple normals that are equally optimal to perform the OS with. Note that different moves may have different frame advantages required to perform the option select. To clarify, I will now show an example. Lily can use Crouching Light Punch at +7 to option select for reversals with a startup equal to or greater than 10. Because Manon's level 1 has a startup of 10, this is within Lily's threshold. I will now perform a frame kill to put Lily in a +7 situation on Manon's wake up. When Manon wakes up with Super Art 1, Lily has enough time to react to the Super Freeze with a parry, even when mashing her Crouching Light Punch such that 2 would come out in the event of Manon doing a normal getup and not supering. Because of this property, with practice, you'll be able to hit confirm the 2 lights into a special. This is the power of the meaty light option select. If you haven't already, please pause the video, find your main, and take note of the normal, the frame advantage, and the threshold that your character has. Most characters have a threshold of 9, so I will first go over how they can use the meaty light option select to abuse characters with bad reversals. Note that if your main character does not have a threshold of 9, I do recommend sticking around, as I will eventually get to how characters with your threshold can use this technique, and I will explain many important details about the usage of this option select. For characters with a threshold of 9 as the attacker, this is an objective tier list of defenders that you should be using the meaty light option select against. Characters that are more vulnerable to the option select because they have bad reversals are listed higher, and characters that are stronger against the option select because they have good reversals are listed lower. Note that this tier list accounts for OD reversals, or lack thereof, and supers. For example, because Ken's threshold is 9 and M. Bison does not have OD reversals and does not have any supers faster than 9 frames, M. Bison has no defense against Ken's meaty light option select. The only counterplay that M. Bison has are system mechanics, those being perfect parry and drive reversal. Perfect parry will beat the option select when the opponent simply wakes up with a correctly timed parry on your meaty light. Wake up drive reversal beats the option select because just like OD reversals, drive reversal does not cause a screen freeze. The defenders in S plus tier do not have OD reversals. Also, these characters do not have supers faster than our threshold of 9. Therefore, these characters have no defense against meaty light option select against attackers with a threshold of 9. Note that I will provide even more ways to abuse Aki's reversals later on in the video. Now let's discuss the S tier. These characters' only defense, other than system mechanics, is level 3 because they have no OD reversals and their level 3 is the only reversal that they have that is faster than our threshold. This means that the meaty light option select is guaranteed when the defender's super meter is below 3. Moving down to the S- tier, these characters' best defense is their level 2, because they have no OD reversal, and their level 2 super is faster than our threshold. Let's skip down to the C tier. For these characters, the meaty light option select is technically guaranteed in Burnout. These characters do have OD reversals, but because you can't use OD specials in Burnout, the option select is guaranteed. In practice, the meaty light option select is also strong in situations where these characters' drive gauge is less than 2 bars. While you are vulnerable to their OD reversal, this, as well as a drive reversal, will put them into Burnout. If they are paying attention, they will know this and will likely perform a level 1 super to avoid Burnout, which your meaty light option select will still cover. For the characters in C+ tier, doing the meaty light option select is guaranteed in Burnout, and technically doing only one light is guaranteed in non-Burnout. This is because even if they use their OD reversal, it is slow enough to be blocked in time after your light. However, this grants less reward, as you are unable to single hit confirm into a special. Use this technique when these characters are not in Burnout at your discretion. I will provide other ways to abuse this character's bad reversals later on in the video. The rest of the tiers should be quite self-explanatory now that I've explained how the tiers work. But in practice, for the characters in the D to E tier, the situations where they are vulnerable to the meaty light option select is so slim that I wouldn't even recommend remembering it. And the characters in the F tier are never vulnerable to the meaty light option select. If you're a DJ player, today is your lucky day. DJ's Standing Light Punch has the shortest recovery out of any normal in the game, giving him the best threshold of 8. This means DJ is objectively the best attacker at performing this option select. Here is DJ's Defender tier list. Notably, Kimberly moves up to S+ tier, meaning that the option select is guaranteed every time, even if she has her level 3. Additionally, DJ's meaty light option select is actually useful against Jamie, Guile, Blanca, Akuma, and Elena when they're in Burnout. For characters with a threshold of 10, here is the objective Defender tier list. Notably, Lily is stronger against the OS due to her 9-frame level 2. Also, the only character that is only vulnerable to the option select in Burnout is Ed. If you play E Honda, today's your unlucky day. Here is the objective tier list for attacker characters with a threshold of 11, the only one being E Honda. As you can see, the option select is only useful against Zangief when he's below level 3 supermeter, and is technically guaranteed in Burnout against Ed and DJ. All other characters are immune to the option select. Characters with a threshold of 12 have an identical tier list to that of characters with a threshold of 11. Again, the option select is only useful against Zangief when he's below 3 supermeter. Additionally, it's guaranteed against Ed and DJ when they're in Burnout. Now that you have learned what the meaty light option select is and when to use it, I will show you a training drill to practice it. Making sure that the frame meter is on, find a frame kill after a knockdown to be plus MVP on your opponent's wake up. In this example, I'm using Ken. As you can see, after doing run Tatsu into 2 dashes, Ken is plus 5, which is my MVP. Next, find an invulnerable super from this chart that has a startup equal to your character's threshold. This number is the startup frames of the super, and if this says yes, then the super is invulnerable. In my example, Ken's threshold is 9, so I will find a super that is invulnerable with a startup of 9, that being Cammy's level 1. Now, choose the corresponding character as the opponent. In this example, I will choose Cammy. Under Reversal Settings in Wake Up Reversal, set slot 3 to the super you found, but turn it off for now. Set the dummy to No Block. Under Recording Settings and Record, set the recording trigger to On Input. In Recording Slot 1, record the dummy holding down back for about 60 frames. In Recording Slot 2, record the dummy walking forward for about 60 frames. In Reversal Settings, under Wake Up Reversal, go to the Record tab and turn on Slot 1 in Slot 1 and Slot 2 in Slot 2. Practice doing your knockdown, frame kill, and hit confirming the 2 lights into a good special. Once you are confident with that, let's turn off slot 1 and 2 in reversal settings and turn on only the super reversal. Practice doing your frame kill, pressing 2 lights, and then holding down back and parry to block the super. Holding down back while inputting your parry is very important because a neutral directional input combined with parry may result in a drive rush cancel. If you are getting hit by the super, check your frame meter for any gaps in your frame kill or lights. In this example, notice the 1 frame gap between my knockdown and my frame kill. This causes me to get hit by the super. In this example, there's a gap between my frame kill and my light, so I get hit by the super. Practice this until you can consistently block the super with no gaps in your frame kill. Now, let's turn everything on in reversal settings. Practice the knockdown, frame kill, hit confirming the lights, and reacting to the screen freeze with a parry. Once you are confident in this, congratulations! You can now abuse characters with slow reversals. Now, let's make Aki mains suffer a little more than they already do. Aki has a unique OD reversal called OD Snake Step. OD Snake Step is invulnerable to everything except grabs, and gives Aki a corner escape and side swap. This may make it seem like you have to guess between striking and throwing on offense. However, what if I told you you could do both? By performing the second light of the meaty light option select using the grab input of light punch plus light kick during the chain cancel window of your first light, you will be able to perform the meaty light option select the same as before, option selecting for the super reversal and continuing pressure, and you will grab her out of her OD snake step reversal. If you use modern controls, you can either do light into light plus medium, or light into light plus grab. This option select works because when using the light punch into light kick input on whiff, the light punch plus light kick input will come out as a buffered grab. This grab will grab Aki out of her OD snake step. However, on block or hit, the second input comes out as a chain canceled jab. You can practice this by doing the same training drill we did earlier to practice meaty light option select, this time adding OD snake step as a reversal option as well. For now, let's only turn on OD snake step to get the timing down. Practice doing the same setup as before with the meaty light OS, this time using a light punch plus light kick input for your second light. Now, let's turn off OD snake step and just turn on slot 1 and 2. Practice hit confirming the lights, always using a grab input as your second light input. Now, turn on OD snake step. Practice hit confirming the lights, same as before. If you are doing this correctly, you should always be grabbing Aki out of her OD snake step. Now, turn on the super reversal. Do the same thing as before, this time reacting to the screen freeze with a parry. Once you are consistent with this training drill, you will be able to cover every single one of Aki's wake-up options. Now, let's talk about JP. JP is an interesting case because his OD reversal, OD amnesia, has many invulnerability frames and is invulnerable to both strike and throw. This move can be frustrating, as it can put you in a very unfavorable mix-up, as well as a side switch. However, unlike many OD reversals, it is actually vulnerable to projectiles. Because JP's Super Art 1 and OD reversal can both be beaten by projectiles, it is very strong to do a meaty projectile against this character on Wake Up. Speaking of meaty projectiles, never do one against Marissa. They are beaten by both her OD reversal and her Super Art 1. However, unlike most OD reversals, Marissa's loses to throw. Additionally, Marissa's backdash takes longer than most characters. Because of these two weaknesses, meaty throw can be quite strong against her. Just keep in mind that her charged Super Art 1 can still beat throws. Remember this information to be well informed when choosing meaty options against Marissa. Lastly, let's talk about Ed. Ed's OD reversal is quite slow at 13 frames. Additionally, his fastest anti-air special is still pretty slow at 10 frames of startup. This makes certain fake safe jumps, aka fake jumps, work on him. Normally, for a safe jump to work, you must be at plus 42. However, against Ed, you can be anywhere between plus 38 and plus 42. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will answer them. Thank you for watching.